मैं रिकॉर्डिंग डालूंगी नहीं उतना आता नहीं चलो बोल
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Sitaram 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 Jaya Sitaram 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 Jaya Sitaram Jai Raghunandana Jaya Ghanashyam Patita Pavana Sitaram Jaya Raghunandana Jaya Ghanashyam Patita Pavana Sitaram 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 Jaya Sitaram 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 Jaya Sitaram Sitaram Rajaram Sitaram Jaya Sitaram 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 Jaya Rajaram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Raghupati Raghav Raja Patita Pavana Sitaram 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 Jaya Sitaram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sitaram, Raghupati Raghav. Sitaram, 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 Jaya Sitaram. Sitaram, Raja Ram, Sitaram, Jaya Raja Ram. Sitaram, 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 Jaya Sitaram, 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 Jaya Sitaram, 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 Jaya Lakshman Hanuman, Sitaram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare 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 जय हरिनाम कीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की जय, जय जय श्रील जयपताका स्वामी महाराज व्यासा दिवस की जय, जय निताई गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे। हरे कृष्णा। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय। नमस्ते नरसिंहाय। गला गला भक्ति विघ्न विनाशक नृसिंहदेव भगवान की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय निताई गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि हरे कृष्णा। सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की। So what time we start?
Probably 10-15 minutes if you can. Kirtan or
We do kirtan, right? Okay. Sitaram, 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 Jaya Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Jaya Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Jaya Sitaram. Ragupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sitaram. Ragupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sitaram. Ragupati Raghava Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sitaram. Sitaram, Jaya Sitaram, Sitaram, Jaya Sitaram, Sitaram. Sitaram, 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 Jaya Sitaram. Sitaram, Sitaram, सीताराम 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 जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान सीताराम जय लक्ष्मण हनुमान रघुपति राघव राज राम पतित पावन सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम जय सीताराम सीताराम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Hari Nam Kirtan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Hari Premanandi.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to our weekly satsang in Bensalem. You know this, our organizer, especially Mukta Sangha Prabhu, he's in India. His mom is very sick. That's why we are but continuing his desire. We have to continue every week. And also today we have the special, the Vyasa Puja of our Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj. He is also the disciple of our Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And we are very fortunate today. We have coming from the New Talavan temple, His Grace Yogendravananda Prabhu. Also we have another special guest, and I think so, like New Vrindavan, right? I always see him in the New Vrindavan, but I don't know, I did not ask him his name. His name Keshav Acharya Prabhu, His Grace Keshav Acharya Prabhu. His Grace Keshav Acharya Prabhu ki.
Jai.
His Grace Yogendravananda Prabhu ki. Jai. Okay. Then I have also my dear God brothers, His Grace. Sorry.
Sukhada.
Shukada Prabhu. Sorry. Because Shukada Prabhu will describe and also introduce to our devotees His Grace Yogendravananda Prabhu. Please, Shukada Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Well, like Justice Govinda Prabhu said, that we have a very special guest. He actually came to Philadelphia in early 80s. So after that, he was here for 1 week during that time. And then after that, today is the first time after 80s he came. We have been very honored that he came. He is a dear god brother of His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj. He joined ISKCON in early 70s, took his first initiation in 1971, and then second initiation in March 1972. That's when Srila Prabhupada also came to New Orleans first time. He also is married to one of our very senior god sisters, Tulsi Maharani Devidasi. She's originally from Malaysia, but now she's in New Talavan. She's a big time book distributor. And also His Grace Yogendravananda Prabhu, he's been a long-standing ISKCON management and especially president of New Orleans and New Thalavan since 1988. He just retired last year. Even though he's retired, but still he's active in doing a lot of things. He recently wrote a book called Autography of Bhakti Yogi. You know, how he started his journey. You know, some interesting pictures are there, which I was saying. He graduated from high school in 1969 in New Orleans. And then he immediately, I think in 1970, 71, he joined ISKCON. So his journey was very, and he has this book here. If anybody wants the book, please see him. He has a card, you can order online. And also, one of the very important thing which he does is that he's a great preacher, especially in New Orleans and New Thalavan community, where he preaches to the non-Indian congregation. He's very good in doing that. And also he's very close to His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj. He's been working with him since 1980. So it was very nice to have him here. So today he will be mainly talking about, because we just had Ram Navami a couple of days ago, so he'll be talking about Sri Ram and Ram's Leela, and also a little bit towards the end highlight on the importance of celebrating Vyasa Puja of your spiritual master. Thank you very much. Welcome, Prabhu. Give a big round of applause. Say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
I also see one of my senior godbrother is also here, Patita Pavana Lord Hari Das Prabhu, Patita Pavana Prabhu, and Krishna Atma Prabhu. So these all are Jayapataka Maharaj disciples. So, okay, Prabhu.
Where do I sit?
You sit in the chair.
Chair.
Thank you, Shukadeva Prabhu.
How you
Yeah, we have.
Today we have also the beautiful deities in Ram, Lakshman and Sita Maya, also in Hanumanji. My dear Shraddha Mataji already being it there. Then we have the Pushpa Abhishek at 7:50, and at the same time we also doing the Pushpa Abhishek to Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj Lotus feet too. Please be prepared and also just ready to that. Thank you.
Is there a clock where I can see the time? I mean, what time is it now? How long does that give me?
7:10.
7:10 now, and we need to be done. What's the time for the push?
No, we can extend 10 minutes.
So,
By 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, yeah.
so
7:50 or 8 o'clock is fine.
so it's 5 after 7, 10 after 7 now. So 8?
Yeah.
8.
Which one is this? Oh, there's some microphone. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jaya Sita Rama, Jai Rama, Jaya Rama, Jai Sita Ram. Lakshman Hanuman, Sita Rama Lakshman Hanuman Sita Lakshman Hanuman Sita Rama Lakshman Hanuman Sita Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Adita Pavana Sitarama Patita Pavana Sitaram Raghupati Radha Raja Rama Patita Pavana Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Rama 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 Jaya Sita Rama Jaya Sita Rama Sita Rama Jaya Sita Rama Jaya Lakshman Hanuman Sita Ram Jaya Lakshman Hanuman Sita Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gora Hari Bo Jaya Prabhupada Shila Prabhupada Prabhupada Shila Prabhupada Gurudev Gurudeva Gurudev Jai Jai Gurudev Jai Lakshman Hanuman Sitarama Ki Jai Go Premanandi. So they Sukada told me to speak about Ramayan or Ram Leela. So I prepared for that. I wasn't prepared for the Vyasa Puja. And I don't know if we'll be able to fit them all in, but we'll try, We have about, 40 minutes, is that correct?
Yes.
Somebody, y'all keep me track of the time, please. Hare Krishna Patita Pranam. Pranam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Haven't seen you in so long. A long time.
Now you come to my neck of the woods. Now you come to my neck of the woods.
Yeah, I sure did. He used to preach to us rednecks in the rural South. If y'all Americans would be familiar with that, but I don't know if you guys would be. The southern states are often considered a little bit, perhaps, bigoted, a little bit intolerant, religiously and racially. But Patita Pavana, he would go there and preach anyway. And I was born there, so. Anyhow, our Vedic culture is a great heritage. I think maybe I'll tell that story tomorrow at the temple. I'm supposed to do the same thing tomorrow at the Sunday feast. So I'll tell that story tomorrow, and we'll just dive right into Ram Leela. There are many, many reasons why Sri Vishnu incarnates as Ram. But there are 4 reasons. We can call them principal reasons. Everybody knows 2 of them. Main reason is the Devas approached Ram. And they complained about Ravan. Ravan was really a problem maker, causing all sorts of difficulties all over the universe, making people cry. That's what his name means. So Ram, or Vishnu, agreed to appear. But he said, I will appear, but you have to appear also. Now what's going to be funny about this is he tells them, you'll have to appear as monkeys. Now, you don't see anybody with a monkey for a service animal. People don't take monkeys places like they may take trained dogs and other types of service animals. Sometimes in a Walmart or someplace you'll see a guy even with a parrot on his shoulder that somehow ever qualifies as a service animal. But usually, blind people have eye-seeing dogs, and people who need emotional help, they may have some type of animal that gives them, support, unconditional love. Animals are good at that. So, but a monkey, is generally seen in a circus type of situation. If a monkey gets out, a monkey can cause problems. In Florida, there was a truck that turned over with some scientific primates in it, type of monkey. And now they live in one of the parks there, many of them. So, but the Devas were asked to appear as monkeys. And, this shows that Ram does not discriminate. Ram does not look at, a devotee's external situation. What he looks at is if this person is devoted. Does this person actually care for me? Is this person worshiping me? Does this person love me? Does this person serve me? That's what Ram looks at him. He doesn't look at our faults. For him, everyone is his child. So when we look at our child, we have a little bit of a bias. But Ram sees all the citizens, including the animals, as his child. So, first reason, the Devas approach Ram. And we know that. We know the second reason is the Rishis approach Ram and make the same complaints. But there's a third reason. Interesting reason. So, one day, like every day, Lakshmi is serving Mahavishnu, perhaps Govardhani Vishnu, maybe Kashirodhanshi Vishnu, but she's serving her Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu detects that there's something bothering her. And he questioned, what is it? Lakshmi, is there something wrong? This is Vaikuntha. So it must have been in Vaikuntha, not even in this material world, the material universe. So there's nothing that can give anyone any anxiety in Vaikuntha. What could possibly, is there something wrong? She says, yes, everything's fine. I love serving you, but there's one thing. There is something. And Lakshmi says, yeah, but don't worry, He says, no, tell me. Here you are, you're serving, you're in Vaikuntha. There can't be anything wrong. Tell me what this problem can be. And she says, well, I'd like to serve you in privacy a little. And Lord Vishnu says, privacy? But there's no one here. It's just you and I. And she says, no. So, who else? And she looks up at Ananta Sage. She says, there's 1,000,000 eyes looking at me. Wherever I go, whatever I do, these eyes are observing me. I'd like to have a little privacy. So Lord Vishnu says, when I appear as a human, at that time we will share some privacy. So, third reason for Lord Vishnu's descent as Ram is the ideal human being, was to give Sita her need for some privacy. Not Sita, but Lakshmi, who became Sita. Then there's a fourth reason, interesting reason. Once Brahma, he spots this golden figure in the Garbal ocean, and he retrieves it, and it's none other than Ranganath. So he worships Lord Ranganath, and eventually the deity of Ranganath is passed down to the Ishvaku dynasty. And the Ishvaku dynasty, worships Lord Ranganath with all of their might. I mean, great devotees, that came before Ram. Many of them, including, the Surya Vamsas, from Manu to Ishvaku, to Maharaj Uttanapada, the father of Dhruva Maharaj. And Dhruva Maharaj's lineage, is so full of great devotees. And before Dhruva Maharaj, Priyavrata. I think from Dhruva were the Prachetas. And then from Priyavrata was his son was very interesting. But his son was Maharaj Nabi, a great pure devotee. And from Maharaj Nabi comes Rishabhadev, had 100 sons. The eldest being Bharat Maharaj, whom the whole planet is named after. All these great kings in the Surya dynasty. But, for whatever reason, Ranganath wasn't satisfied. There was something missing. And he thought, there's only one thing that's going to satisfy me. These devotees have tried so hard. But it's not possible. I'll have to come myself. Consequently, Ram appeared to satisfy Ranganath. There's a story about Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes we have to satisfy ourselves. That's the only one who's going to satisfy us. Two stories now. My wife used to always think that her unhappiness was due to someone else, especially her husband. But when she became a salesperson for Mary Kay Cosmetics, they taught her that you're not going to find any happiness. It's you who have to make yourself happy, and you can't really depend on someone else to do that. And it changed her whole mentality. She never, again, blame me for herself being unhappy. Similarly, sort of similarly, but similarly about satisfying ourselves, once Srila Prabhupada was at some temple, I don't know where, maybe it was in India, but he had one Mataji that was cooking samosas for him for a journey he was going to go on. And Prabhupada walked into wherever she was cooking, and he saw the samosas, picked up one and ate it. And she said, Prabhupada, that's for your journey. He said, so I can eat one. But then he ate another. And another. And she said, Prabhupada, how many are you going to eat? And he said, more than you can cook. And so then she started thinking, wow, this would be a great reference, for my cooking. So she said, Prabhupada, who's your favorite cook? And Prabhupada says, me! So it just goes to show you that, sometimes it's ourselves who have to satisfy ourselves. Can't be dependent on anyone else. So that's how Ranganath was thinking. So, Ram appeared to satisfy Ranganath. He gave the Ranganath deity to Bibhishan, after the whole war and the killing of Ravan. And when Bibhishan was taking him back to Lanka, he decided to stop at a festival in Tamil Nadu and set Ranganath down right where he is today. But then the kings that were there, they petitioned Ranganath to stay. And for whatever reason, Ranganath stayed. But he faced south to appease Bibhishan. Now, usually the deity is facing west, because, especially in people's houses, because we face east to worship him. At New Talavan, where the deity is now, the deity is facing east. So sometimes the deities do face east, or they'll be facing west because their worshippers are facing east, looking at them. Or whatever way Vishnu decides he wants to face. And in this case, he's facing south to bring some satisfaction to Bibhishan. So that's the fourth reason. Sure, there's many others, but those are four reasons. The Devas, the Rishis, Lakshmi, and Ranganath. Now, I really wanted to talk about, despite Ram's ideal character and being an ideal human being, every one of us faces censorship in this world. There's always something we've done wrong that, causes, someone to critique us and make some valid, maybe even invalid criticism. And that happens even to Ram. And especially concerning one particular pastime and event that people sometimes speak very critical of Ram. And they say that it was very immoral for Ram to banish Sita. Now I'm coming to Ram's defense this evening. First of all, Ram didn't banish Sita. Ram is an example of being banished. Mother Kaikeyi, whom Lord Vishnu himself sent to carry out this thankless task of becoming a person who would be highly criticized after that night of getting what she wanted. So it was, Saraswati who controlled her tongue ultimately, and Indra sent the hunchback servant to persuade her, because the Devas needed this Ravan guy taken out. And it could only be done by humans and animals, because of the benediction Brahma had given him. And we all know that Vishnu follows the Vishnu, fulfills the benediction of his devotees. So Ravan didn't ask for immunity from human beings or animals. So, let me gather my thoughts here again in my defense of Ram. So Ram was actually banished. Just like that, in a moment, he goes from being the coronation of being the king to having everything stripped away, even his royal garb, and being, dressed as an ascetic, his hair to be matted. And the only thing he could take with him was his weapons, because after all, they were going to the dangerous forest. They wasn't going to a national park. They were going into the forest where there were many, many dangerous animals that could harm them. So Ram was allowed to take his weapons. And he was really pleased to do it. When he approached Mother Kaisalya, she was crying with Hanuman, not with Hanuman, but with Lakshman. And she said, do what your mother says, thinking that she would order Ram to stay. But Ram said, yes, I'll do what my mother says. It is my duty, and Mother Kaikeyi has sent me to the forest, and I will observe that unquestionably. And so she was lost for words when he said like that. But, Sita also asked to go, and Ram refused. He said, you can't do this. You don't know what it's like there. You're not used to walking on anything but, palace floors and in palace gardens. You can't tolerate the jungle. It was so bad that Lakshman walked in front of them because he didn't want them to suffer from stones and thorns and sticker bushes, etc. He cleared the path. So Lakshman, his service attitude is so great that although he walked in front, it's considered that he also walked behind. So how can Lakshman walk in front and simultaneously walk behind? It's considered he walked behind because while he was walking in front to clear the path, he never became the leader. He always remained a follower. He always followed Ram. And Ram's order was dear to his heart. After having to take Sita to Valmiki's ashram, he refused to come as Vishnu's younger brother ever again, because it was too much to follow all Ram's orders. As Balaram, he could get mad at him. So anyhow, we shouldn't think Sita was ever a person who couldn't think for herself and didn't have any sort of independent thought. That, Sita, she couldn't be assertive. No. Sita told Ram when Ram refused. She stood up and she said, oh, so you can carry out your dharma of following your father's order. But I also have a dharma. And Janaka Maharaj told me to follow you. And I will follow you wherever you go. And so that was a persuasion that she utilized. But when it got the final persuasive argument she made was what our great politicians in the world do most often today. She used a character assassination against her opponent. she told Rama, you know, I'm beginning to think you are a woman in a man's body. So Ram thought, ooh, she's pretty determined. So I'll go. I mean, you can go. Uh-oh. I don't know if it still works. Somebody plug it back in. I can't see it. So she went. Ram allowed her to go. There was another time when she also had to, when she questioned Ram's ability. She told Ram, why are you carrying this bow around? You never use it. They were in the forest. I mean, what's the point of it? Ram didn't say anything. So when the episode happened, after the defacement of Sopanaka, and she goes to her brothers, Karan and I forget his name, starts with a D. You know, and they attack. So Ram prepares to go out and meet them, and Lakshman says, no, Ram, go with Sita. You don't have to do this. I'm here. I can take care of these rascals. You go with Sita. And Ram says, no, this is personal. You go with Sita. I have a job to do with my bow. So first off, he kills 14 huge Rakshasas, the best soldiers in Kara's army. They come and they just laugh. Oh, this little pitty human being, what's he going to do? But Ram takes them all out, nothing flat. When Kara hears that, then he sends his brother with, 14,000 Rakshasas. And they attack with everything. And Ram, all they can see is Ram everywhere. Because somehow or other he is spinning around, Rakshasas all around him, and his arrows are just taking out all of them. Agastya has given him the bow of Vishnu with 2 quivers of inexhaustible arrows. So anyway, Ram defeats them all, and even Kara comes, and there's a great fight that happens, but he takes him out too. And one guy gets away and goes and tells Ravana, and the Leela goes on. But anyway, so Sita certainly has a mind of her own, and she can express it. That will be very important in my defense of Ram. So the first point is that Ram did not banish Sita. Ram was banished. He was an example of being banished. But Sita was sent to a safe house. Sometimes people are sent to a safe house when there's, some sort of enemy. The government has to send somebody to a safe house because, the mafia is going to take them out. Some drug cartel is going to take them out. So the government, in order for them to testify, has to put them in some safe house. So Ram sent Sita to Valmiki's ashram because it was a safe house. There were many brahmanis there that could take care of her. She was free to, glorify Ram, and she was, her children would be taken care of. Everything would be perfect. Valmiki was, a most trusted sage. He could do everything perfect. The children would be properly brought up and trained. So she was sent to a safe house. It was not a banishment at all. So that's one defense. There are others. There are 3. One is that Ram needs to balance his karma or his dharma. I mean, we're performing dharma in this world because we engaged in karma. Karma means, we make our material body because we did not engage in bhakti yoga. By engaging in fruitive work, which is karma, we get a material body because you have to have a material body to engage in the world of karma, because the world of karma is the material world and requires a material body. So when we want fruitive work to enjoy independently of Krishna, not perfectly in our loving relationship with him, we have to take birth in the material world. So, and in the material world, we perform dharma in order to get the best out of it, as well as to ultimately return back to our Sanatana Dharma, our eternal Dharma in the spiritual world. So while in this world, we're always balancing our Dharma. And, ordinary people like us, maybe 50% of it goes right. And, 50% goes wrong, nobody's perfect. But, Ram, it's more like 90% of it goes right. So he's always, people always having to balance their Dharma. Now, what Ram had to face is considered to be a dharmic conflict. We may say a dharmic conflict. Yes, a dharmic conflict is when there's a choice. And that's what separates us from the animals. Animals, they don't have dharmic conflicts, or they don't have a conflict in their choice, generally speaking. They eat what they eat, they go where they go, they sleep where they sleep, and there's no not a lot of thinking about it. It's all instinct. They instinctively do what's best for themselves. But sometimes for us to do what's best for ourselves, we run into a dharmic conflict. A choice that's difficult to make. There's like two good things, two right things. Which one am I going to do? Am I going to go to Mayapur or am I going to go to Vrindavan right now? Like that. Or like your parents call you from India. They need you. You need to come. You're going to have to move. Your mother's elderly and I can't take care of her anymore. We need help. There's no one else but you. But your wife doesn't want to go. And she's saying, I can't live there. I can't go. We can go visit, but I can't stay there. All right, so now you have to make your decision. Is she going to be like Sita? Not everybody's like Sita. All right, you go. I'll visit. Another one. What if, everybody's got to go to their job, but what if you got some sick kids at home? I mean, really sick, and they need your help. Now, what are you going to do? How you're going to have to cut back on your work to give them more quality time. So, you have to make some decisions. The boss is pulling you one way, and the children are pulling you another. So it's not always easy. So Ram had this dharmic conflict. We shouldn't think that it was his idea. He's a king. He's not just a husband. He's a husband, but he's a king. So, a king questions their ministers and their spies. He needs to know everything that's going on. Is it is, not as people present to him face to face. He needs to know what they're really thinking. So Ram questioned his minister, Bhadra. What are the citizens thinking? What are they saying? And he tells them all sorts of wonderful things that they are saying. Ram says, was there anything else? He says, no. Ram, are you sure? And he kind of, he just looks down. Ram says, tell me. He says, what is one thing? And some of the citizens say that it would have maybe been all right for any of us to take our wife back after she had been kidnapped and away from home for a year with some, people who don't follow human law and who generally, have sex with whomever they want and eat whomever they want. So, but for Ram, an ideal king, it just doesn't seem appropriate. And Ram turns to his ever ministers. He says, "Is this true?" And they all put their head down. And some people were talking. People talk. They say all sorts of things, I mean, that's what people do. Human beings do. They gossip. They criticize. They find fault, Ram may not be like that, but, ordinary citizens, ordinary people. So now Ram has a dharmic conflict. He himself, when Sita first returned, was the only time in Ramayan. We should never think that Ram was a, macho, patriarch, misogynistic man who only cared, about his duty and glory. No, Ram was an extremely sensitive person who could empathize with anyone, especially his wife. And it became a real conflict for him. Now, what am I going to do? But he, when she first came back, he was a little bit harsh. The only time you see him harsh, especially to her. Perhaps he was a little bit harsh with Robin. And, and some other demons he fought with. But with Sita, when she first came back, there was nothing he could do. He couldn't look at her because it was questionable about what happened. So that's when Sita, whom we should never think didn't have a mind of her own, took the matter into her own hands. She very assertively told Lakshman, get wood. I will enter the fire now. And of course we know Agni brought out Ram's internal potency, Mother Sita, and the form of Sita, the external illusory form of Sita that Ravan carried away, went off with Agni. So in that way, Sita proved her purity, and Ram immediately apologized and took her. And everything was fine until Ram got word that there was some talk amongst the citizens. So that became his dharmic conflict, and he made his decision. There's another reason that I'm going to put off for now, because there's ever wonderful reasons in defense of Ram. Who or we or anyone else to find fault and question Ram when none of us are a king? Who here has been a king? Has anyone here been a king? Maybe we've been a CEO somewhere, a president somewhere. But who's been a king of a nation, of a people, where all these people are like your children, and you have to take care of all of them as their father? Who's been a king? So I don't know about British law or Indian law, but in American law, you had to be tried by 12 people who are your peers. 12 people like you. Not that some black person does some crime and they get 12 white bigots from the South to be the jury, which went on, in the time of Jim Crow. That was quite common. And they would always let the villains go if they were white. So anyhow, so Ram only deserved that he was put before a jury and a judge to be tried by other kings. Kings know what a difficult decision it will be that this king faced, not ordinary people. The other thing is, who are we to question if we don't understand the deep love that Ram had for Sita? There's so much proof of that. So much proof of Ram's love that 4 chapters after Sita is kidnapped, for 4 chapters after that, Ram just cries. All he can do is cry every time he sees, whatever he sees in nature and elsewhere. It reminds him of Sita, and he breaks down, and Lakshman has to come to his support and say, Ram, you can't get depressed like this. We'll never get Sita back. How will you fight? So many ways Ram proved his love. He went through all this difficulty, after making an alliance with Sugriva. Sugriva persuades Ram to wait until after the rainy season because it's going to be difficult to find Sita then with so much rain. And after all, Sugriva's just gotten his wife back and taken charge of the kingdom. So he spends the next 4 months, in the palace celebrating, while Ram sits in a cave with Lakshman just thinking about Sita and crying every day. And eventually when he thinks Sugriva's taking so long, he sends Lakshman to do something about it. And, that's the last person Sugriva's going to want to face because, when Lakshman's angry, he's angry. So, but Sugriva, he's a leader, he's a governor. He knows how to deal with situations. So he doesn't go face Lakshman, he sends his wife. So what can Lakshman do? Oh, Mataji, where's Sugriva? Oh, Lakshman, please calm down. Sugriva's getting ready. He's been wanting to get there and serve Ram. Just give him a moment. He'll be out. Please, cool down. So she calms him down, and, and Sugriva comes, and Lakshman says, we have to go now. And so, of course, they go. So, Ram's been crying all this time. Now, consider the love for Ram. Sometimes people say, Krishna could take care of 16,108 wives perfectly, each in their own palace, each with 10 sons, plus a daughter, at least one daughter, if not more. Everything perfect. It's not that they had to wait to see Krishna. He was there in every palace because he's Krishna. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Ram couldn't take care of one wife. They make a criticism like that. But Ram never loved any woman other than Sita. And Sita never loved any man other than Ram. The proof is that even after Sita left this world, Ram refused to marry anyone else. Now, what Kshatriya can do that other than Bhishma Dev, Ram's own father? He didn't just have 3 wives, Kausalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. He had 360 wives. And this was normal for a Kshatriya, especially in those days. Even today, this is the nature of Kshatriyas. They can, if you have the money, you have the power, then all the power to you. But if you can't take care of them, God help you. So you had to be able to satisfy. So Kshatriyas could do that. They ruled the kingdom. And they needed all these sons and queens. We shouldn't think that Ram never loved Sita. For 10,000 years after her disappearance, Ram ruled the kingdom with just her deity. What time is it? How long do I have?
8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock now. All right, so in conclusion, the final reason that Ram sent Sita to be with Valmiki. Remember when I said Lakshmi wanted some privacy? So that's why another reason he accepted Kaikeyi's order to go to the forest. But that love and privacy was not enough. Love and union is not enough. It's very great when we meet our lover after being separated. But the love and separation is even greater. Don't we learn that as Lord Chaitanya's devotees? That the greatest rasa is Madhurya Ras, and the greatest Madhurya Ras is the Prakiya Bhava Ras. And separation, like Radharani and the gopis experienced every day when Krishna would leave. So, do we not think that Ram could not experience Vipralamba, love? They experienced this great love and separation between them, Ram and Sita. And last but not least, what I always love, and there are different versions of the Ramayana. So in one version, the citizens want her back. Of course, Ram wants her back. And she's brought back, and again, humiliated in the sense that now she's brought back to face another trial. They're all going to question her purity. What is this? So what does she do as the heroine? She says, if I have never thought of another man in my life, then let Mother Earth take me back. And that's when Bhumi appears and takes her back. And Ram goes supremely insane and threatens the earth to bring her back. But everybody, from the Sister Muni, his royal guru, to all of his followers and devotees, they say, Ram, you can't do this. This is the Leela. You'll join in the spiritual world. You have to calm down. You can't explode the earth. So Ram doesn't, the Leela goes on, and eventually, he takes everyone in Ayodhya back to Ayodhya in the spiritual world. Shri Ram ki Jai, Jai Lakshman Hanuman ki Jai, Jai Mother Sita ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi.
Thank you, Yogendravananda Prabhu, for nicely lecture for the Sri Ram Katha. And we will do very soon, at the same time, the Pushpanjali, Pushpabhishek, His Holiness Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, and also the same time we do the Sri Ram, Lakshman and Sita Mata, the Pushpabhishek too. But I'm sorry, I'm just missing one thing. I did not really describe for the introduce the Keshav Acharya Prabhu, his spiritual master, because when we take specially initiation, then we are greatly identified our spiritual master. Means we have to talk about the devotees and also his spiritual master. Then the Keshav Acharya Prabhu is initiated by His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj. He is Holiness Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj ki. And also, we are traditionally, every time any new devotee comes, I think some our God brothers, Krishnatha Prabhu he's coming, it's a new, right? Is it Prabhu the first time or second time? Oh, I'm sorry, I did not see. Okay, that's fine. We will just chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Keshav Acharya Prabhu and also His Grace Krishnatha Prabhu too.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you, everyone. Now we are starting for our Pushpa Abhishek. Thank you, please, on the line, and also we can do for our this water, then we can purify everyone.
Yeah. We started.
Okay, please, Yogendravananda Prabhu, if you can start the Pushpa Abhishek, then we'll follow you.
How do you want me to do it? Just offer flowers, you mean? And bow
Yeah,
down?
just flower
Yes.
and
Prabhu, one second. We'll first let Yogendra Prabhu cut that cake of Guru Maharaj, then we'll take it back and then we'll do the pushpa.
Okay, Mataji, sure.
So let him
So,
cut.
how are we going to do it? We're going to cut
First,
cake first?
Yeah, please. You cut
Yeah,
the
you
cake.
cut the cake behalf of
And then you'll take it away and then we'll do flowers.
Yes, yes.
So that in that way that is out of the way.
Ooh. Have to take it out. Y'all take it out in the back. Okay.
And
Jayapataka
Keshav Acharya
Srila
Prabhu,
Guru
if you,
Dev.
after that, if you can do it again for this, the kirtan, please.
Jai. Jai Srila Guru Dev. Jayapataka Maharaj.
His Holiness Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj 77th Keshav Puja ki
Jai.
Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Now we're starting the Pushpa Abhishek. Okay,
So
well,
how are we going to do it?
yeah, just wash your hand and just we take the flower here.
Bringing me a paper towel. Take off some of it.
Oh, yeah, it's.
So I offer flowers first to Jayapataka Maharaj, then I offer it to Lakshman Hanuman.
Yeah, you know better than me. Thank you.
Well, I mean, we usually do it all at once. We chant the mantras and then everybody offers flowers, but it's nice, you know, if you can go up individually, you know.
Yeah, please come and join.
Krishna,
Please, everyone.
Everybody chant. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, everybody chant at last together. Last. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय हरि नाम कीर्तन की
Jai!
श्रील जयपताका स्वामी गुरु महाराज की
जय।
श्रील प्रभुपाद की
His Grace Keshav Acharya Prabhu ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Okay, dear devotees, we are just almost in the last moment. We just trying to, because it's our Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj Vyasa Puja, like we are just trying to is glorify him. If anyone want to speak about like his like glorifying means like homage, just shortly we can do that. And also Patit Pavan Patit Pavan Guru Hari Prabhu here, then he can try first and then
Hey, Hare Krishna, Namo Vishnu Marai Krishna Mistai Bhuta Desi Mate Jayapataka Swami Iti Namere Nama Acharya Buddha Nita Buddha Yoga Katana Nagari Nama Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj ki
Jai.
So it's very, very auspicious today. He's a Vaikuntha man. One time some devotees asked Prabhupada about his Guru Maharaj. He said, what can I say? He was a Vaikuntha man. The Vaikuntha man, or Gauranga man, Mayapur, it's like a king, right? So auspicious, everything about Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. There's so many things we said, I'll try to be a little brief. But I know him mostly from Atlanta. That's where I first met him. And he's so dedicated to, anyway, so many deities all over the world actually. Also, Yogendra Prabhu is here from Nitalavan. And Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj has a very nice relationship with the Nitalavan Yatra as well. He was always encouraging us whenever he would come visit us in Atlanta. He was always encouraging us to preach. He was so kind. He would give so much time to the devotees. It was just completely amazing. And he's like a king. Like he gives the class and he's the guru. But he's just so also down to earth, so friendly. Even like new people. Like I remember one time in the Sunday feast, then he was serving the prasad and like helping, like there was an old lady helping her get to her seat and bringing her. He's from the Midwest. He's a country boy. He's like Bengal also. He's like a village, And he does so. I don't want to, so many things you can give an hour lecture. I'm not going to do that. But he's so sweet, so down to earth, so human, and also so like just we can't even understand. Prabhupada even said that he told one time he was a life member who worked for the government in Mumbai, and Prabhupada was at his house having lunch. And then, so Prabhupada said that he was giving him, because you work for the government, please ask the government to stop, interfering with our, to help give our visas to my students, because they keep having to leave from America, and it gives a problem. They think we're from the CIA, we're not the CIA. Anyway, and he gave a few requests, like, please help, because you're from the government. He said, okay, I'll try to talk. And he said, also, this one boy here, can you adopt him as your son? legally, he can become Indian, because I need him here. He was previously an associate of Lord Chaitanya. It's in the book. You can read the Prabhupada remembrances. Srinathji is the son of that language. So many things. But we're very fortunate on this day that we can come together, and by his blessings, we can cross over all the obstacles in this. One time, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj said that everybody should live in Mayapur. He said, of course, everybody cannot live in Mayapur. So then, if you cannot live in Mayapur, then you should preach, and you should always think of Mayapur. So, okay. So, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Thank you for the compliment. Who is next? Anyone else?
I can. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. And I have always had the good fortune of meeting His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj in Subhadra Mataji's house. The first time I met him was in 2012. And I didn't know who he was, but I always knew that, he's a person who is surrendered to Krishna and who is surrendered to a spiritual cause. That's the only thing I knew. And since then, whenever he came to Mataji's house, I was always there. And I had a very brief encounter with him, very, very close. I mean, at that point of time, we didn't have too many devotees around, and I really missed that time. And that was when he just looked in my eyes and he asked me, how can I serve you? And I was like, I am a nobody. How would you serve me? I am nobody. I should be serving you, actually. And then I had asked him that, I would want, please bless me to get a spiritual life. And today also I would ask him to bless me that I get faith in the holy name and my anarthas get destroyed. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams to all the devotees present here.
Anyone else?
Anybody else who wants to speak? Like his disciple, not his disciples, we are did in the afternoon, we can still do again one more time, but anybody else who has any? Pritida Mataji, you want to say something? I know you have some interaction long time back, right?
Long time back, actually I was very new to this country. We were living in California. That's when I used to, then I think he used to come to California every year. Almost every year he used to come. And there was one of his disciples, Chaitanya Dasi, yes. So she used to engage us in lot of services. Just before he arrived, she used to ask us to clean up a lot of things just so Maharaj could stay there. And also, like after the classes, I remember that just a very handful of people would sit down and he would just be joking so much. It was nothing related to Krishna, but just about devotees, and he used to be very jovial. I was very new to Krishna consciousness, and I always used to wonder how somebody in a white body who has so much faith in Krishna and who has believed Srila Prabhupada's words, and he's been in this movement. And I think it was a couple years we used to meet him, and at Subhadra Mataji's place, after maybe like 8 to 10 years or something, he saw me and he just called me by my name. He said, Kalavati, he said. I was so shocked. And he said, I have your name in my book. I didn't know what to say then. I was like shocked. I was scared that somebody can have so much memory. The face maybe they'll remember, but even the name. So Maharaj was very, very kind. And he has inspired my Prabhu and myself. in this Krishna conscious journey. We are always grateful to His Holiness Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Thank you, Mataji.
Anybody else? Prabhu, you want to say something? Okay, so Mataji, you want to say something? No,
Okay, Mataji.
we in this today in the afternoon we had the opportunity to do a program in the temple, and we all like had the opportunity to glorify him. But you can if I start talking, maybe all night I'll be talking about him. So that is not like, and I have never enough to say. But I was just telling this afternoon that how he engages everyone in Krishna conscious activities. I have a god brother who does a lot of work for him, and he one time approached me to help him writing some SOPs, like some standard operating procedures, which Guru Maharaj was very happy. So then he said, Mataji, when I see Guru Maharaj, I just go the other way. I said, why? Like he whenever he sees, he comes up with a new idea. And that's a big project, not even an idea, like a project. And then I have so many things in my plate I didn't finish, and he'll call me and give me another project. And all the project is how to spread Krishna consciousness so that every single one gets it. So this afternoon I was telling that in the hospital he was admitted and he was getting treated, and you all know that he had a stroke and he's been going through a lot of health issues and challenges. His lungs was transplanted, liver was transplanted, kidney was transplanted, and so many things he's going through. Recently I went to Mayapur, and his dialysis was going on, and he was meeting, he was giving he was doing all these things like Zoom meetings and all. And if people, those who have been kidney dialysis, they tell that how painful and exhausting it is. But with that, he is like, okay, no, they are doing the dialysis, let them do. I'll just do whatever I have to do. So then in the hospital, he said, today I was saying, 3 things he told. He said, I want everybody to tell this, whoever you meet, to people to do exercise. Because nowadays, people are very much body conscious, and you tell them that, oh, you need any happiness or you want to maintain your body, they will do it very quickly. Rather than if you tell them to take Krishna's name, they will think twice. So he said, do one thing, when you see anybody, you just say you all are going to gym and everything, but we will give you 3 exercises, just do 2 minutes each exercise or 3 minutes depending upon whatever time you have, and you see how you feel. So of course this one, everybody knows, he told long time back to few doctors that you just tell your patients who come to you with their knee pain or this pain, just tell them to touch their knee and then touch their neck. And that is the exercise you are bending. You will say knee, thigh, knee, thigh. Then it becomes knee, thigh, knee and thigh. And then recently he said, he thought of it. He said, you can tell your whoever you meet, you say, like nowadays they do this exercise, right? And most, like a lot of people see that they put something in their waist and they turn their waist like this constantly, they'll be doing this exercise. So he's like, you can say that, how in summer wind blows from south and in winter it blows from north, and you just say, when you do the exercise, just say, go wind, go wind, go wind, and then they will be saying, go wind, go wind, go wind, will be go wind. And then he said that another thing is exercise. A lot of people, they go in the treadmill and they just run, and while running they can say, go run go, go run go, and then they will be doing go run go, and then in that way we are preaching. And the other people, those who are not Krishna conscious, they will also be doing it because thinking, okay, something like some exercise, and then they are getting something, so that in that way they will be benefited. So my point is, every second of his life he is thinking how to save another soul. He's not thinking about, somebody was telling, like in 2008 when he had stroke. In 2009 he came to Philadelphia. He came to Philadelphia, but prior to that he was in Washington DC. So we all went to see him in Washington DC, and he said in his own words, he said, I was given a chance to go back or stay, but I opted to stay because I have so many things to do for my Guru Maharaj, for Srila Prabhupada. He has given him so many instructions. So now, like, we all can relate to that, right? If we have anything, little pain here or there, or any kind of material anxiety or issues we have in life, we will say, Krishna, can you take us back? When can I go? How long we have to? But this is not first time, 3 times, like he has told that. He was called, come. He's like, no, I'm not going. I have to finish. Because it's like, people might think, oh, he's so attached to the body. But what he has in his body that he'll be attached, everything is falling apart. But he just wants to stay and serve and fulfill Srila Prabhupada's mission. Like, I don't know if anybody heard, when Kamala, what was your name?
Radhika.
Kamala Harris, sorry. When Kamala Harris was like, in that political things, was running for president. So Guru Maharaj said, oh, I'm so happy now. Srila Prabhupada asked me to take Krishna consciousness to every corner of the world, which it was not possible right now for me with my health conditions, and also I'm requesting all my disciples to help me. But now, every single one is taking Kamala Hari's name. So they are like, Kamala means Radharani, and in Haris they have Hari. So everyone is taking her, like, Radha and Krishna's name, and my mission is like, getting fulfilled. So I heard that, I'm like, wow, like I didn't even think that, who am I? I'm such a fallen soul. But I was talking to that to His Holiness Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Maharaj is like, wow, well, he can think like that. Like every little thing, like, he's like, okay, now it is done. Then another time he was going in somewhere in Russia, I guess, devotees were telling, he was in the car and there was a car in front of him and he was very happy. He was just like, laughing, go Ranga, go Ranga. All of a sudden, like, what happened? The Guru Maharaj, what? Now look in the front. So it was a Toyota car with a Toyota, like, logo, where you will see like that, right? He was seeing Gauranga there, with the Toyota logo, where nobody could even think, what is he talking? He's like, look, Gauranga, where is Gauranga? So yeah, so then there are like so many people who was telling, Mataji just said, like the unearthers. So like 2023, when he was in Atlanta, we went to see him. So he was giving darshan. Lot of people were there. It's very difficult to even go see him in the front. So I was all the way in the back, and I was praying to him that way. Like, Guru Maharaj, please take all my anarthas out. I have so many anarthas. I was just thinking. And then after that, he gave darshan. So everybody was going. Then I wasn't there. At that time, I just went upstairs to go to the restroom or something. As soon as I came back, my Prabhu asked me, where were you? He gave darshan to everyone. I said, oh, I didn't see him. Then Mahabara Prabhu was kind enough to take me into the room alone. Like, Mahabara Prabhu was there. I went. As soon as I brought down, he has a stick in his hand, that Jagannath's toothbrush. And of course, that left hand has some strength, right hand does not have. As soon as I brought down, he put that stick on my head, and he pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. I'm like, how much of strength he has in his hand, and it was like hurting like anything. And I didn't understand why is he doing that. And then immediately I had a bump here. Then I came out. Then he looked at me, and he's like, okay, done. Now you can go. So I came. Then I thought, why did he do that? And I was in so much of pain. Then I remembered I was praying to him to take my anarthas out, and that it stayed for 1 year. Like, there was such a big bump. So yeah, he does listen to your prayers, and yes, he will do that. So I just wanted to share this.
But I want to do that without a bump on my
That is the best you see. And I never thought that he had stroke or something. I had so much of strength. I don't know if I'm like, normal you will do that. I'm like, okay, I'm like, is he mad at me? But no, he's like, then he looked at me, okay, done. I said, okay. Then after that, I remember, okay, what I was praying. Okay, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. If you want to talk a little bit about Guru Maharaj, please. Yeah? You are always dear to Guru Maharaj.
Thank you. Vishnu Padaka Jayapataka Swami. Thank you, Brothers Govinda Prabhu, giving me an opportunity. Like My wife said that we can speak about him all day long. Especially I know him for last 40 years. I was very fortunate. When I took initiation at the time, I did not know what initiation means. In the temple today, I was saying this while reading my homage, that the love of affection, what Patita Pavana Prabhu just described before, that he's a down-to-earth person. He never made any of his disciples feel that he's a heavy personality, he's giving all these instructions you got to follow. But he had this fatherly love with his children that's unbelievable. And I was very fortunate that I was in the first, whatever you say, the first team, you can say. He started giving initiation, I think, in early 80s or mid 80s, something like that. And I was in Patita Pavana Prabhu and myself, we all took in late 80s. So, his and I remember a couple of incidents, and I will just share, one of them. Like my wife was talking about the pain, he used so much strength. And Patita Pavana Prabhu, you remember Kalavati?
Yes.
So Guru Maharaj used to come, and then I was, me and Balabhadra Prabhu and a few other devotees, especially Mahaguna Mataji, we all used to serve him prasadam, and then he used to take a nap. And this is in Atlanta, and every evening he used to give darshan. And devotees, those who don't know what meaning of darshan is like, he will interact with the audience, take questions and answers. It's not a lecture, it's a very casual forum. Interaction between, that's what, we in ISKCON we call as a darshan. He's giving a darshan. So he told me that I'm going to take a nap and wake me up at such and such time, I don't remember. Let's pick up the time, 5 o'clock. But he went to bed to take nap was at 4:15. I said, sure. So 5 o'clock, he was in deep sleep. He was like tired, he was snoring. I went there, I touched his leg, massaged his leg, still he won't wake up. So, and then if anybody went to Atlanta, you would see where Guru Maharaj used to stay. He used to have a big porch outside. Devotees were packed, standing there. And then Mahaguna Mataji and Kalavati Mataji came inside. They were sitting on the hallway, and they were pushing me, go and wake up Guru Maharaj. I said, no, I'm not going to wake up Guru Maharaj. He's sleeping. He's tired. So everybody's waiting. So it became from the time I said, what, 5? It became 5:45, he's still not up. Then I really went and massaged his feet. Then when he opened his eyes, he woke up and said, what time is it? I said, 5:45. Then he woke up. And then he said, I told you to wake me up. I said, Guru Maharaj, I'm sorry, you were, Guru says something to do, you need to wake him up. Then I said, Guru Maharaj, then he really slapped me very hard. Okay, very hard. And it was so hard that sound, both Kalavati Mataji, Mahaguna Mataji heard it. Okay, so I was at the time I was just 19. Okay, I was a very young boy, and I never got that kind of slap from anybody, but you know. And my I think it was this chick had his hand, means his mark was there. So I came out, and then what happened? Then I started crying. Then anyway, then he got dressed, and everybody wanted to touch my cheek. Okay? And I was in pain. And then darshan happened, and I didn't know what to say. Means I was upset with him, I was angry with him. At the same token, I know that I made a mistake. I was a young boy. I didn't know what to do. So then, after everything happened, when he was ready to go to bed, and he called me. He hugged me, and he said, "I'm sorry. But please, whenever Guru tells you to do something, you should do it. Whether Guru is sleeping or not, you got to wake him up. You messed up the whole schedule, you know." Then he really hugged me, and you know, he said, I'm sorry. So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes that intimate relationship you have with the Guru, but again, he gives you the right instruction that if Guru tells you something to do, you take his instruction very seriously. You cannot just say, "Oh, okay, he's an ordinary man, he's sleeping, so I'm not going to wake him up." Many instances like this happened, you know, and one of our god brother, Makhan Das, he really always had a, lila with Guru Maharaj. Makhan Das was assigned to do small Radha Krishna deity worship every day. In one class, Guru Maharaj said that sometimes if Pujari is running late for whatever reason, then instead of distracting anything, they can do Manasa Puja and dress the deities, and the altar can open at 7:15 for Darshanarati. So Makhan Prabhu took this literally almost every day. So Balabhadra Prabhu told Guru Maharaj when next time he came that this is what Makhan does. So Guru Maharaj, what he does, he goes and takes a bucket of water, and he sleeps in another house there, and he goes and dumps water on him so that he can wake up. And sometimes he wrestles with them. He goes, he's sleeping, we all saw Guru Maharaj when he was, before the stroke, with a heavy big body. He goes and sits on him to wake him up. Okay? He said, "This is your Manasa Guru coming to wake up." Okay? So, there's so many customs like this. But Guru Maharaj is really, really very kind to everybody. Like Kalamati Mataji said about remembering, this even today also, with this stroke happened, still he remembers everything. He remembers anybody he saw, everybody he saw. It is just unbelievable. Anyway, thank you very much, Guru Maharaj, for allowing me to speak. And we all need to, the whole purpose of this celebration here is to see how he is listening and following the instruction of his Guru. And we saw what Srila Prabhupada did to carry on his Guru's instructions. Today we want to have ISKCON without Srila Prabhupada carrying his Guru's instruction. Similarly, Jayapataka Maharaj is doing by following his Guru's instruction. I think we all should do by following his instruction. So let's make a vow that we will try our best to spread the Krishna consciousness to anybody and everybody in whatever form it is. Whether give them a cookie to bring them close to you, give them the name, like my wife was saying, knee tie, whether it's a knee tie or Gauranga, whatever you say, whatever it takes to give this Krishna consciousness to anybody and everybody. Let's do that. Okay? So let's do that so that next year, this time when we are celebrating His Vyasa Puja, I really want to see everybody coming and telling him, Guru Maharaj, just like how Brother Govinda Prabhu today said, he made one devotee. Okay? If everybody can give this Krishna consciousness to one person other than you, please do it. Whether he's a Christian, whether he's a Muslim, whether he's a... Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Body doesn't matter. Religion doesn't matter. Gender doesn't matter. Just give them the love. Because love is Krishna personification. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. So please do that. And Brother Govinda Prabhu, next year, this time, I want you to stand there and call everybody to come and say, instead of giving the flower offering, they should give the offering what they did. How many names of Krishna, how many love they gave it to anybody else. Hare Krishna, Jayapataka Maharaj ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Thank you, Subhadra Prabhu. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just want to share little bit, it's not too long. Please be patient, my devotees. I'm so sorry about that. Just 5 minutes, not too long. Yeah, I heard this from the Mahabharata Prabhu. You know everyone, the Mahabharata Prabhu is the personal secretary. Someone called is the personal servant. Then Mahabharata Prabhu described one time the Guru Maharaj went to the South India, and there is a big program. And the program, when the program is done, is almost in the night. Then the Guru Maharaj was very tired, and also he's after the stroke, he's already wheelchair. Then they already Mahabharata Prabhu said, Guru Maharaj, you are so tired, please go inside and take rest. And also after prasadam, you can sleep. And next day we need to go for the arati, the Guru Arati. But there is, the Guru, where is Guru Maharaj is going any places. All devotees knows that. And they are already, all people are in the staying one place. They are waiting for Guru Maharaj. Even though, the Mataji also know that, the New Jersey, when the Prabhu name I forget. Sorry? Yeah. That already we went there, lots of people. I see the Prabhu said, no, I'm sorry, Guru Maharaj is so tired. He came yesterday. He's not doing any lecture, not darshan today. Please coming tomorrow. Same thing also like this, that this temple has already fulfilled all the devotees, but temple president and also Mahabharata Prabhu told them all the devotees, no, please, the Guru Maharaj is so tired, he cannot see. But, no, this is temple. And Guru Maharaj already see that because he's called, Antarjami means, I don't know, he knows everyone, he knows the devotees there. Just I'm talking about how Guru Maharaj loves the devotees. This is my main article. And then Mahabharata Prabhu come to here, and Guru Maharaj thinking what I had to talk to the Mahabharata. Then he's come, Mahabharata, can you please give me 1 minute, I can talk, I can see them. I don't want to talk. I can just see them and coming back. Mahabharata Prabhu said, he's my spiritual master. He's just requesting me, can you give me a minute? I want to see them and coming back. Then what I need to do? I'm his servant. I have to just introduce it like in the carry his order. I'm also wondering, it's very, very nice history. And then the Mahabharata Prabhu said, okay, Guru Maharaj, please go and coming back. And all the servants already just take him to the main temple in a big room. And all people is there, and they are very many big noise, Gauranga, Nityananda like this, because Guru Maharaj like this Gauranga, Nityananda sound. And people are very happy. Guru Maharaj also very happy. Now, Guru Maharaj says, Mahabharata, can you please give me another 5 minutes, because I have to talk. Now, Mahabharata Prabhu is really very upset and angry. Guru Maharaj, you are so tired. I'm just talking about you. I'm taking care of you. And you said okay, whatever you know. And Maharaj Prabhu, go ahead. He said, okay, whatever you can do, I have no idea. I'm going on. Then Guru Maharaj, already now, Guru Maharaj is giving the lecture and everything. And there is, Maharaj Prabhu already left, he's not there. Long 30 minutes or something like later, he's coming. And Guru Maharaj said, Maharaj, please sorry about that. You know this, I love all the devotees. I love my disciples. What I need to do? Sorry about that. Please forgive me. Guru Maharaj says, Maharaj says, what he need to be talk to the devotees. He need to give him the lecture. He's okay, but his body condition is not good. That's why we are thinking about it. But he loves devotee anyway. His condition is good or bad doesn't matter. He want to show all want to see the darshan of him and everyone. This is our Guru Maharaj in a correct state. Thank you everybody. Jai Shri Guru Maharaj ki
Jai. Mahaprasade.
Yeah, everybody started prasadam.
Mahaprasade Govinde.
Mahaprasade Govinde.
Namo Brahmani Vaishnave.
Namo Brahmane Vaishnave.
Shalpa Punyavadam Rajan.
Salpa Punyavatam Rajan.
Vishashanaiva Jayate.
Vishwasaneva Jayate.
Sharira Apidyajal.
Sharira Vidyajal.
Jarendriyata Hekal.
Jadendriyatra Hikal.
Jibe Fele Bishoy Sagare.
Jai Phale Vishe Sagare.
Tar Madhye Jibbayati.
Tar Madhye Jivayati.
Lubhamaya Sudurmati.
Logo Maya Sudurmati.
Take jeta kotino samsare.
Take jata katina sansare.
Krishna baro dayamoy.
Krishna baro dayamay.
Kari bare jiba joy.
Kari bare jiva jay.
Saprasadan dilabai.
Saprasadan
Shri Anna Mrita Pao.
Shri Anna Mritpao.
Shri Radha Krishna Guno Gao.
Shri Radha Krishna Gunaga.
Premeda ko Sri Chaitanya Nitai.
Premera ko Chaitanya
Jai Nimai Jai Nitai.
Jai Nimai Jai Nitai.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara.
Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Rama Hare Rama.
Hare Rama Hare Rama.
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Rama Rama Hare
Jai
Hare.
Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Mahaprasadam ki
Jai.
Jai Gaur Premanande Hari.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you devotees, please enjoy your prasad.